This video is brought to you by BETUS Sportsbook and Casino.
How are they different?
Just Dylan is a dog. Just know that. You'll see on Saturday.
Was those some shots fired already? Yes, the rivalry game is coming up this week. You got Colorado going against Nebraska. We've got the press conferences, so we've got to dive into not only this feels like a shuttle jab that we heard here. Matt Rhule, the head coach of Nebraska, also made some comments that we're going to dive into. So make sure you stick around. We'll get on that portion of the back end here on the Prime Time for College Football. This video is presented by our partners over at BETUS. Please check them out. Link in the description below as well as in the pinned comment. They're hooking up the gamer. 125% up to $2,000 on your first 3 deposits so that you can get in the game. So check it out at BETUS. All right, we know this is going to be a big game, big rivalry. The spreads are loose. We'll look at the spread in a few minutes. But that statement right there that we opened up with, it's kind of interesting from that player, right? Kind of felt like it was a little bit of a subtle jab at Sheduer. Feels like they're trying to already get into his head. And of course, I'm going to be waiting to see. You know, Coach Prime had his press conference not too long ago when he dove into his relationship with Matt Rhule and he talked about the game. And so we'll talk about his comments also, but I thought that was interesting. That player felt that he thinks Dylan Raiola is a dog and kind of implied that you can't compare the two because he's not seeing that Sheduer is a dog. That's a little odd, right? We've seen Sheduer Sanders play ball, so it's kind of weird that he said that. You probably saw it at the beginning. I'll let y'all hear it again. We're gonna all react to it together. Let's check this out.
Does Phil facing Dylan help in the sense that, like, you know, I mean, he can throw and Sheduer can throw, but Dylan can throw too.
You can't compare Dylan and Shedeur Sanders. Don't do that. That's Dylan is a different man. The way he played, the way he go out there and attack.
How are they different?
Just Dylan is a dog. Just know that. You'll see on Saturday.
Yep, it just feels a little odd, right? Feels like there's some shots already being taken. After Sheduer went out there and, you know, led the nation in passing yards, 445, you know, he was cooking, right? And we all know that, and I dropped the video not too long ago about Nick Saban saying that Colorado's going to have to establish a defense as well as a run game, especially in a run game, because you're going to need to be able to eat the clock and not allow the competition to keep going. But I think Colorado's going to be just fine going up against Nebraska in this rivalry game, you know, going up the highway. It's going to be a good one. But I want to talk about what Matt Rhule had to say. But before we do that, let's get this word from our sponsor. Shout out to our partners over there at BETUS. They are hooking the gamers up 125% bonus on your deposits, your first 3 up to $2,000. They're taking care of you. So when you come in here to Colorado, you see that they've got Nebraska, the spread sitting here, -7. Nebraska to face at the crib. Colorado at the money lines, plus 223. I think that's kind of attractive. Why don't we take that bet? We'll put $100 on it and see how that works. I'm going to go ahead and say Colorado goes out there, outright wins the game. So you can do that here on BETUS. They are hooking the gamer up. Also, they're giving you a 10% insurance. So every 2 years, they give you 10% of your net losses. They're the only people that I know that's doing that because they're taking care of you, the gamers. So check them out. Also, make sure you bet responsibly, baby. But we're feeling good about Colorado and the Buffs. Let's see if they can make that happen. So I thought that was interesting, though. Again, it feels like shots are being taken, right? And so in Coach Prime's presser, he talked about how, you know, not only does he have mad respect for Matt Rhule, but he's got mad respect, you know, for him specifically because he feels like they're in a similar fraternity, right? They both started their jobs around the same time. So it's not one of those situations where, you know, they want to compete, but also they both started at the same time. And so Prime showed him some love, not something that's, you know, unexpected, right? Coach Prime is infamous for him showing love the way he does. And he talked about a few players on the bus, but he really talked about how this rivalry is going to be fun. It should be a really good game and how he feels that Nebraska is a solid squad. And so, of course, Matt Rhule was asked some questions as well about Prime. And when he was talking about it, this is what he said. I thought this was interesting.
To a Colorado media member who referred to the game as a clash of cultures. programs because they operate differently? Do you see it anything like that?
Not at all. I think they're a competitive culture. You know, they go recruit and get the best players they can get. They do well in school. They don't get in trouble off the field, and they compete. I respect it with what they do.
Did you ever hear from Deion or Sheduer or anybody after what happened last year, what they said?
No.
Would you expect to?
No. Everyone, guys, I don't take anything. Nothing. I mean, like everyone's got their own. Everything's got their own things to do, and like I said, like I got love in my heart and a lot of respect for what they're doing. So, yeah, nothing really bothered me. I mean, at the end of the day, you know, Sheduer thought I felt like I disrespected his father. He was standing up for him. Good for him. You know, my son would stand up for me.
So basically, he comes out here and says that he has respect for Sheduer in defending his dad, right? And same here, right? Because he knows that his son would do the same for him. And so, you know, Sheduer didn't really talk to Rhule, you know, after the game. You know, shots were kind of going back and forth, right? And I gotta say, Matt Rhule sounded a little nervous in the presser, right? Our boy TJ here on the channel had dropped a video last year before the game, and it sounded like Matt was a little bit on the worried side. But let's keep it a buck. They're both ready for this game, and it should be a good one, right? The big thing for Colorado in being successful in playing this game is the defense is going to have to be established, and they're going against a young quarterback. And I loved how Prime kind of said that, you know, whenever, you know, Raiola got out there, you know, it looks like he was just trying to get himself going, but he figured it out as the game went on, and he praised him on that. So he doesn't feel like the inexperience of the quarterback is going to be much of an issue or even detriment to what they are doing there. I personally disagree. I feel like having a young quarterback go up against a defense that has some veteran presence and in good film study, you'll have the ability to take that young man out, right? You're going to make him work for everything he's got. And I think that that's the one thing that the Buffs can do to be successful in this game. It's going to be tough, right? Because I think that Raiola is going to be the real deal. He's able to launch that bad boy deep. He can scramble if needed, but he's got a good moxie to him as far as being a quarterback at the collegiate level. And so Matt Rhule's got a quarterback now. They didn't gave this man a quarterback. Should we be nervous about this man having a quarterback? Hey, I'm just going to say it's probably a possibility because I think that Raiola is going to be solid. But if the Buffs go in there with a solid game plan of keeping them contained, not allowing the passes over the middle, and really forcing him out of the pocket to where he's not comfortable, yeah, the Buffs should do it big. And the good thing is you still got Travis Hunter, you got Shedeur Sanders, right? You got Jimmy Horn. Now, establishing that run game, as Nick Saban said before, some of you were in the comments, weren't very happy about it, but he's right. You got to kill clock against teams like Nebraska. You got to kill clock against teams in the Big 12 because a lot of the Big 12 schools are infamous for scoring really fast. Now that Rhule's got himself a quarterback, that's how he was at Baylor. He would score like that. He was big on scoring, boom, 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 boom. And so you got to be prepared for that. Now, so the good thing for you all, we'll dive into the actual numbers of Baylor versus Colorado going into that game. So we'll make sure to break all of that stuff down. So let me know what y'all think. Y'all go ahead and hop in those comments. We want to know how y'all feeling about coming against Nebraska. It's a primetime game, too. That's the best part, right? I'll be on the couch, tuned in, checking out what's going on in this game. So let me know what y'all all think. All right, we'll have more content coming down the line. Getting ready for this game. Cannot believe we are in the midst of the season. Shout out to BETUS for sponsoring the video. Check them out up to $2,000. Get 125% bonus on your first 3 deposits. 125% bonus. You can leverage that. Hopefully win something on the Buffs this season. So check that out. Of course, you got to make sure you check out video up here and our recap from last game as well as subscribe. We'll talk soon.